Dealer Cruz here, your life applications officer. Um, Bandwagon. Everybody's on one. Okay. Some of us are really free thinkers. We're not on any bandwagon just because everybody is on it. Right? And atheists like to say they're free thinkers, but I caught you trying to make a religion out of atheism. So you're not a free thinker anymore. You're trying to get everybody to think a certain way about God or about a God not existing or however you want to put it. You're trying to get everybody to think that way. Same thing with another thing that I battle on my channel is the whole LGBTQ community. And I don't battle the LGBTQ community because they exist and I disagree with them. I battle with the LGBTQ community because of them trying to be a religion. Now, some of you would say, well, Mr. Cruz, you're trying to be a religion, so if somebody wants to be a religion, that should be their choice. Here you go again with your hypocrisy, Mr. D. Roy Cruz. Well, this is the thing. I'm inviting you to join. I'm inviting you, and I'm telling you what the terms of service are. And you don't have to separate yourself from anything good to walk with Jesus. Okay? His yoke is easy and his burden is light. You don't have to separate yourself from anything that is good. You're not going to become a Christian and go out there and play the victim. Okay? And everybody's hating on, you know what I'm saying? You're not going to do that. And I know some of y'all say, well, yeah, well, Mr. Cruz, you're always playing the victim. Again, know what a victim is and know what playing the victim is, okay? I'm a victim of something that I chose to be a victim of, okay? Just like if I was to say, hey, I'm going to join the military, Dad, okay? Oh, I'm so proud of you, son. And I go to the military and they make me go through basic training. They make me, try to keep up with the big boys and all like that. Okay. Um, I can't say, oh, well, you're making me sweat. I'm too old. You know what I'm saying? I can't do it like he does it. No, I have to because I signed up for this. One thing I won't be a victim of is Christianity itself because I signed up for this. And whatever backlash I get from being a Christian, I take that backlash with pride. But just because I talk about it and talk about me understanding why people hate us, or okay, maybe you don't hate us, maybe you just want to make fun of us, or maybe you just want to shut us down. But we're not just sitting back here, you know, getting things done by minding our own business. Neither are we getting left alone because we mind our own business. Okay? If I'm a Christian and I send my kids to public school and they're now indoctrinating my kids um, with things that they know that me as a Christian is totally going to be against. And I have to fight that, and it might be a losing battle. I might have to, you know, deny one kid going to college, okay, so that another kid can go get out of the public schools and go to a private school. I don't know, okay? But the point is, okay, yeah, I'm going to be a victim of Christian persecution because I have a right to teach my own kids. If you're teaching my kids stuff that they don't need to know to begin with, and then they come home, all right, and now it's more confusing for the kid because I'm going to teach him about Jesus and how to morally, what that means morally. Okay? What do we got here? Okay? So, you can spin this any way you want, but everybody's getting on a bandwagon today. And we want freedom for everybody. Okay? But your freedom might cause my freedom to be no freedom at all. We're moving up on the scale of LGBTQ freedoms, but we're coming down on Christian freedom. Is that fair? No, it's not. And well, how do you know that, Mr. Cruz? Well, I know that because I can go to my job, and if I express myself as a Christian, okay, in anything, somebody could go and attack my rights without realizing that I have that right. And I might have to actually go to court because how many people doesn't understand, even Christians, that I have that right. You said something to me and I said something. But you said it, but I didn't have a right to say my retaliation against that. And we could talk about this until I laid down the law, until I laid down what the scriptures say. And then somebody wanted to say, oh, wait, don't bring religion in here. But wait, what? There's two of us talking. Now, maybe he didn't bring religion into it as you look at religion. But to me, he was pushing his religion against mine. Okay, right? Because he's being religious by acting like he knows what I'm talking about. If you're not being religious, how the heck you know what I'm talking about then? How can you call me being religious if you don't know anything about religion? Okay? So yeah. It was both of us, not just me. Okay? But today, you say anything about Jesus, oh, it all goes under the book of religion. Only because nobody cares about it. But because you don't care about it, I'm not allowed to express it. Okay? And I will admit, we have that too with a lot of people that are, LGBTQ. If people don't care, they're more quicker to shut you down. But this is the thing. If I tell you about my rights as a Christian, you'll laugh. If you tell me about your rights as an LGBTQ person, I'm going to back up and just tell you and walk away. I'm not going to argue with you. Because why? There are laws now. There are laws now. And if there are no laws that protect the LGBTQs, then everything that's negatively said, and a lot of things that aren't negatively said or considered negatively said about LGBTQs. So everybody's in violation of these people. because they are the most endangered species on the planet right now, which is a lie and which is baloney. Okay, and I'm not trying to bring this up, but this is just a good example of how bandwagons work. Okay, and a lot of people are on this bandwagon and they don't even know what they're getting themselves into. They don't know what homosexuals talk about when they go home. They don't know. They don't know. They don't. How, have you ever considered how there are people? If you were to investigate, and I have, ever since Job Corps. I'm saying it like that because Job Corps. Ever since, from my childhood to Job Corps. When I went to Job Corps was one of the first places. Job Corps, yes, was one of the first places where they actually started indoctrinating this in schools. This was back in the 1980s, 1987. Well, Job Corps had been doing it before that. Before I started, I went to Job Corps in 1987. They started doing this in like 1985. They got years. The Job Corps was one of the first schools to uh, initiate sexual orientation in a public school, and it all started with the government. It started with Job Corps because that's a government school. We're naturally property of the government. Okay, so um, they started this, and this goes to show you how corrupt our government is. And this is why I talk about it so much, because I never said this before. Maybe I think I have, but it's property. We were property of the government, so the government will always do it first, and then once the government does it, everybody else has a right to do it as time goes on. Each affiliation, each federal, we start federal, and then we go down the chain from there. Okay, schools are government, but Job Corps is more government than most schools. Okay, um, because everything's funded by the government, and when you sign the papers, you're signing documents into the U.S. government, and you're giving away, more than just a driver's license. You're giving it all away when you go in there. Okay, just ask people; they'll tell you. Job Corps is a big deal, especially back then. It was okay. Um, I knew that we were moving up and getting back then. I knew we were getting a little bit outrageous, but I figured Job Corps being a school, private school, where the government was reaching out to individuals to help them to get good jobs to support themselves going to college or whatever, or to support those who might not pass the SATs to go to college and all like that. At least they'll be able to get a good career, get a good job or something. Okay. Um, that's what Job Corps' purpose was. But they said nothing to us in the handbook. Neither did they say anything to us into the documents we signed that we were going to be orientated about gayism. Okay. And so they were doing to us what they're doing to these kids in school today. Now they're getting down to little kindergarten kids, but they did it to us as teenagers, fresh out of high school. Some of us were barely 18. Okay. Um, they started teaching us not only what it was, but how to respect these people. Okay. And all like this. And I'm thinking, okay, whatever, until I realized that over half of us, at least half of us, okay, we're gay. Okay, and what do you do when what do you do? Well, what we started doing was just being funny about it. Everybody thought it was a comedy act, but you know, I told you many stories. I watched a guy. I pulled a guy off of a guy that was seriously trying. I thought they was just joking. I thought they was just being perverted. No, he was seriously forcing himself on this guy. And the only reason why people came up there and the only reason why the guy quit was because people was trying to see what I was doing. And then a crowd started forming, and finally he decided to get up off the guy. And, um, you know, so it didn't happen. But the guy was trying to do this. Okay. He did some other things that were, you know, like putting his lips on the guy and stuff, you know, and all like that, which could get him AIDS and all like that. He did get his mouth in this poor guy's pants. Okay. And so this is how they carry on in the gay community. You know what I'm saying? You know, is this what we get for being nice to gay people? You know, um, I'm sorry, folks, but to me, that's horrid. Um, and you cannot walk away from this without a complete, you know, without creating policy and laws for this community and making this community follow basic laws like everybody else and treating this community like they can be responsible for crime and sexual crimes and all kinds of forms of crime just like everybody else. But right now, they're the endangered species. They're like, it's like a doe walking up my hill here. Don't shoot it. Well, that's good meat to eat. Don't take that the wrong way. Or, you know what I'm saying? We got kids around here. He gets scared and start running. He might run over one of these kids. Or shoot at him and get him to run, get him out of the street so he don't get hit by a car. But either way, for some people, any crime, anything you do to a doe other than feed them, or feed her, I should say, okay, is a crime. You know what I'm saying? When we have a right to kill and eat. But, especially deer. But you're not allowed to kill a deer on your property. Not out this way. Not in this part of Pittsburgh anyway. But my point is, everybody's on the bandwagon. Everybody's on the bandwagon. Today, I this is what brought this video on. Today I was watching a couple things. And later on, I watched just recently, just about an hour or less ago, I was watching two things. Um, one was about comic books and how when you go to like different, like everybody doesn't go to college to learn how to do comic books. But if you go to college, you learn more about DC and Marvel. Okay. If you go to a school that is like a class and you'll get people like Dawn Simpson or Sean McLeod. I think it's Sean. Um, or Don McLeod. I forget his first name, but you know, you get these different comic greats that are involved in manga, DC, and Marvel. Okay, you get them to sponsor these art classes, and the whole point of the class is to indoctrinate you. I'll use that word for my example, to indoctrinate you into DC or Marvel and all like that, when everybody's not into superheroes and everybody's not into manga. You know what I'm saying? You know, little small girls and these little perfect, you know, little skirts and dresses, and Asian people don't even dress that way in their home countries, you know. But you know, it's like, you know, sometimes I wonder if mega is all about making little boys horny or what. I don't know, because it's like all I see is mainly these cute little girls wearing all these provocative clothings in these books, and I almost bought a manga book one time, manga book one time, and I had to put it back on the shelf because it was like I caught on to what they're doing there, like, you know what I'm saying, you know. And then now they got books out now called Manga Women. Well, those aren't women; they're teens. They're teens who act like adults, who are fornicating with their boyfriends and doing different things that, you know, Asian people really try to keep their kids from doing. You know, um, you know, I'd rather hang out with actual teens in Asia than to try and win the Mega Teen Award, you know. Um, but the thing is, um, unless you are on, the bottom line is, unless you are within one of these companies and they're all connected together, and it starts off as talent, but now it's like they're promoting, they're investing money. And so now, unless you're, everybody can draw manga now. You got whole classes out there teaching you how to draw manga. Everybody can draw DC and Marvel now because you got whole classes and all kinds of YouTube videos, even you name it, to teach you how to do this stuff. Okay, but everybody's not into superheroes. Everybody's not in teenage girls and skimpy miniskirts. Okay, um, who have to have these super boys for boyfriends. Everybody's not into that. Okay, um, some of us like stuff that's seen on TV on Netflix. Like I got some stuff here. I watched this on Netflix. One of these I seen too, and it really bored me. I think the comic book is better than the movie, but The Old Guard, I watched that on Netflix. Wasn't too impressed with it, but it was fun to watch. Um, you know, and let me tell you, Immortality. I love Immortality, but see, the whole point of those kind of movies is to make you hate immortality. Once you become immortal, and there is immortality, but uh, once you become immortal, you don't go to war anymore. There's no war in immortality. Ain't nobody gonna come back here immortal and go to war for you. There's no immortal superheroes or nothing. Okay, I love the movie, but at the end of the movie, it's a sad ending. Okay, immortal people don't die, and you won't need to die, even if something out there could kill you, because you don't go to war anymore once you become immortal. Because once you become immortal, you are with Jesus. If Jesus allow you and find you worthy to be immortal, you are with Jesus forever and ever and ever, and nothing is going to happen to you that would attack your immorality, and there is no war. We'll be turning our guns into stuff to clean with. Okay, we'll be turning our spears into plowshares, as the Bible says. You know what I'm saying? The lion will lay down with the lamb. Okay? We'll have the lion for a pet. You know what I'm saying? There's no war in immortality. But there's that bandwagon where, if we're going to talk about immortality, we got to talk about superheroes. If we're going to talk about immortality, we got to talk about the bad guy, which there is no such thing. The bad guy that doesn't die. You can't kill him. There's only one bad guy that doesn't die, and that's the devil. And he doesn't get to practice all his immortal rights. And not only that, but before he can ever practice his immortal right, he'll be destroyed by fire. Okay? He will definitely be destroyed by the end. Okay? But just like this, and then I watched another video today about Visa and MasterCard, and out of all the credit cards out there, you want to be either Visa or MasterCard. Visa is winning the competition between Visa and MasterCard, but Visa might have hurt itself by going outside the country and trying to, deal with foreign relations and all like that. And MasterCard is starting to move up and come up to where Visa is at. Also, MasterCard is more quicker to offer people like myself who got bad credit, okay? And MasterCard is willing also to do, MasterCard is more patriotic about this country than Visa. Visa is trying to do whatever, it's trying to get its money wherever it can get it. It's trying to really, it's like UPMC, it's trying to clean up the map, But MasterCard, Visa has lost and got it back, but MasterCard is staying where it's at, and it can only go higher. It can't really go much lower. So, MasterCard, in my opinion, after everything I heard today, MasterCard wins. But MasterCard and Visa are another one of those bandwagons where you can't use your American Discovery card in every country. Okay? Or your Discovery card or your American Express card. You can't use that in every country. Some countries will ban American Express or Discovery cards. Okay? So that's why most people will only deal with Visa or MasterCard. Okay? So I watched about 4 or 5 videos about this. We're talking like going into like 2-3 hours, and I learned some things that I didn't know. Okay? But that's the bandwagon. You know what I'm saying? That's the type of bandwagon where people get on, and so the other side road to that bandwagon is that credit cards. Period. Some people feel like if you ain't got a credit card, you ain't an American. Who doesn't have a credit card? You know what I'm saying? I don't have a credit card. Okay? I use my bank card as a debit card and a credit card. And my bank card, which is a MasterCard, used to be a Visa. But Visa gave up on me. I don't know what happened with that. I got some old Visa debit cards around here that still got money on them. Haven't used them in a while, but MasterCard has been really good at giving me all kinds of programs, that work for me with my bank. And I don't know if these banks are picking MasterCard and Visa or if MasterCard and Visa are picking them. I think my bank in particular picked MasterCard so that they could offer us all these good programs. And I've had the same bank. I keep switching banks, but I've had this bank now for probably going on, 8 years now? I'm not sure, but Um, you know, I was thinking about getting another credit card because they keep sending me offers. I got an offer right here on the table here under these comic books that is hard for me to resist. So I might take it. Because I would like to have a credit card for that time of the month when I have to really adjust for the end of the month where I have, you know, certain bills that kind of like drain me, and I would like to, you know, have something to fall back on. But I really don't want to use my credit card for credit. I just want to use it to circulate the money that I have. Okay. Um, and a lot of people will tell me that I'm off the bandwagon if I do that. Like, hey man, you know, use all the money and pay it back. You know what I'm saying? And no, that's not smart. You know, all right, you know how many credit cards that I've had to tear up. You know how many credit cards that I'm in debt with. Most of my uh what do you call it? What do you call that? Credit scores. Most of my bad credit is bad because of credit cards. When I was married, my wife was a credit card junkie. You know what I mean? She didn't want to wait and save up money for anything. It all had to come off the credit cards, you know? Um, so, you know, that in you know, just like DC and Marvel, you know, um, people take over things. And if you're not on that bandwagon, you lose. You have to go with the flow. No, you don't. You can choose not to have a credit card at all if you want to. Or you can choose to have a credit card with limit benefits because you're not going to use all them benefits because maybe you don't want to go to the gentleman's club. Maybe you don't gamble. Okay? Maybe you don't want to go to see sports where, you know, that's being taken over by transgender women. You don't want to see them sports. So what do you need that kind of credit card for? You know what I'm saying? You know. Um, you know, and it's getting to the point that if we don't win this case against um Allie Brown or Alex Brown or Alicia Brown or whatever her name is, if we don't win this case, then we're going to have to all get on that bandwagon. Using that for an example, we're all going to have to get on that bandwagon where, hey, look, there is no more women's sports. You know, the transgender chick is going to win. So unless you think you can get in there and beat the transgender chick, just shut up and don't go in there and play sports. Because, like somebody said on YouTube yesterday, I should have saved the video. They said, we don't give a rat's behind about going in there and interrupting women's sports because we're women too. And so if we go in there and we beat women, hey, that's our prerogative because we're women too. But that's a lie. If you are a transgender woman, you are a transgender woman. You are not a biological woman. And you will be, where I'm coming from, you will be referred to as a transgender woman. Okay? And if you are a transgender man, then you are a transgender man. You're not a biological man, and I'm not going to refer to you. Okay? Sure, I'll give you all the pronouns you want. But one pronoun I won't change is the fact that you are a transgender woman or a transgender man. You ain't biological. Why would you need to be trans if you're biological? Why would you need to get surgery to be a woman if you're already a woman? Why would you need to get surgery to be a man if you're already a man? Is that the dumbest or thing I ever said? What is that? Why do I have to talk like that? This is the thing. I'm not on the bandwagon. And you people that are always on the bandwagon, where are you? I'd like to know the real you. And not just the you that just jumps on all the bandwagon because you're too lazy to really care. Okay? But who are you outside the bandwagon? Because a lot of y'all feel that you disagree, just like I disagree with a lot of things, but you feel like it's not your call to say. Oh, but it's your call. It's your call to say that Christians are always playing the victim and that they're just hypocritical. And that you're trying to judge the world and make people, indoctrinate, and you're trying to indoctrinate everybody and all this, but you're not allowed to say if somebody's indoctrinating us. You're not allowed to talk about, us being victims of anything or us being mistreated about anything. Just like we're getting to the point where we can't we can't say that biological women are victims of anything. We can't say that they've been cheated. We have to get on this bandwagon by force that says, oh, a trans woman is a real woman, and so therefore there should be no separation between trans and biological. But I'm not on that bandwagon. Okay? If I was a woman, I just wouldn't participate in women's sports until, okay, the demons are gone. If you know what I'm saying. Until the demons are gone, get them demons out of there, and then I'll participate in women's sports as a woman. If I'm a man, you know what I'm saying? Okay, but see, you don't see trans women or trans men rather participating in men's sports because they they would get crushed. It would be the opposite. They would get crushed at everything. Some of them have tried and they got crushed. Okay, but again, I'm not on the bandwagon. Just like here's one more for you. That situation between Will Smith and Chris Rock. Okay, the Oscars is not a church. Maybe it is. The Oscars is not a holy place. You're allowed to get up in the Oscars and cuss. You're allowed to get up in the Oscars and say whatever you want to say. How come you're not allowed to get up here and slap somebody because you were totally offended by what they said? Comedians should be used to getting slapped. Comedians, that are in the flow of Chris Rock and Ari Spears and Eddie Griffin and different ones, you should be used to getting slapped. And I think the reason why Chris Rock did not go after Will in any way for what happened was because he knows as a comedian you're going to offend people, but you really don't want to take it further than that. You know what I'm saying? But if you're offending people, you took it as far as you can take it. And I'm not talking about people again. I'm not talking about people that put yourself in that predicament. But, let me say something else. If a man decides to be with his wife, he's already married to her. The ring's on the finger. He's already with her. She can be as much of a B as she want to be. Okay? If he chooses to be with her, he has a right. There's no reason for him to be there if he's not going to forgive her and treat her like he loves her, because he loves her. Okay? So now everybody wants to attack Pinkett, but the thing is, any woman that when a man loves a woman, she has that kind of control over her husband. Especially when a man, and from what I understand, wait a minute, didn't Will cheat on Pinkett too? Aren't they both in open relationships? It's just that Pinkett decided to be the little Jezebel and spread her all over the news. But I think Will cheated on her first. So why are we talking about her and not talking about Will? Oh, we're trying to say because the narrative is to say that Pinkett is controlling Will. But the truth of the matter is, they're both wrong. And Will is the one, he's the hero here because he's the one that wants things, obviously, as you can see, he wants to put things back to normal. He wants his wife back. And he wants to have a more mature marriage with her. Okay? But instead of encouraging Chris Rock to change the way he says things in the comedy industry, you rather make these two divorce each other and take the Oscars off of Will over that little slap. And I'm going to say it again. Will didn't get up there to hurt Chris. Look at Will and look at Chris. If Will wanted to hurt Chris, he could have took an extra second and really did him in. He gave him a friendly slap. Watch your mouth. That's what he did. They're like, oh, it was an assault. And Will should have pressed charges and all like that. If I was Will, I wouldn't press charges either. As small as I am. Because that was a friendly smack. No blood, no bruises, just a slap. You know? Anyway. I'm out of here. I am DeRoy Cruz. I am your life applications officer. Thank you for watching. God bless you.